Alrighty, both teams are into the lobby set up, and we'll be kicking the game off here momentarily. Alrighty, there we go. Game is started and we are underway for game 2 in what I'm going to call the finals. I was alerted during the break that it may be the semifinals, but looking at the AD2L bracket here, it looks like the winner of this is scheduled to go on and face No Fear Dota, and there's nothing after that. There's no more teams. No Fear Dota's come up through the bottom of the bracket here, and this is going to be the top half of the bracket. So I'm going to call it the finals. If there's another game after the winner of this and No Fear Dota, I'll be there to watch it. But for now, this is what the books is telling me. And what the books are telling me is that this is do or die time for Waifu and Senpais, as they let game 1 go to Sanity's Eclipse. As Sanity's Eclipse chose a relatively AoE-centric team fighting lineup. They had Illuminate and Blind coming out from Keeper of the Light. They had Undying in his Tombstone and Decays, which were proving to be pretty powerful. Even Wind Ranger in those team fight scenarios was positioning quite well, getting power shots against 2-3 heroes, shackle shotting multiple heroes. I like that Panda did seem to have a target on moving targets back for that shackle shot, as it did seem to be shot at the Broodmother more often than not in those big team fight skirmishes. And then Bidman was kind of hanging out in the middle of the pack and blinking onto anybody who would either come at them or step out of position just in the slightest bit. Catching Lena a couple times, catching moving target several times, but more often than not, moving target was supported by Winter Wyvern and did not fall to duel. And was able to kill Bidman before he eventually fell. Just like in game 1, the ban's coming fast and furious, with Waifu and Senpais banning out the Bloodseeker and this time the Undying. Sanity's Eclipse mixing it up a little bit, banning out the Anti-Mage and the Bounty Hunter. Gyrocopter! So as I mentioned in game 1, Gyrocopter, one of those heroes that either picked or banned in the majority of games, and it was banned in game 1, and here in game 2, it looks like it's going to be picked.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
This time with the second round of bans, it's going a little bit slower.
Radiant team ban.
The team's thinking about it a bit more. You have Storm Spirit banned out for Waifu and Senpais, and Visage banned out by Sanity's Eclipse. The second time banning that out. So clearly something that they've seen in the history of Waifu and Senpais that they don't want to have to deal with themselves.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban. Radiant team pick.
So, Lion, Wind Ranger. So you have some respect bands coming out from Waifu and Senpais.
Dire team
And
pick.
we're definitely going to have a different makeup
Radiant
here
team pick.
across the board. Waifu and Senpais, immediately, their first 3 picks are what would have been great counters to the previous game's group push strategy coming out from Sanity's Eclipse. This time Waifu appeared to have a much stronger team fight lineup with
5
Leshrac
seconds
and
remaining.
every one of his abilities being an AoE ability.
Dire
Gyrocopter
team pick.
having 3 out of the 4, and Disruptor pretty much the same, sitting with 3 out of the 4. And a very strong hero in terms
Radiant
of controlling the
team
tempo of a
ban.
fight. With the 4th pick, Waifu are picking up Darkseer. And this is the type of lineup I've seen quite a bit from one of the teams that I cast in the lower tournament
10
bracket
seconds remaining.
called Here Comes the Cobra, aka Cobra Boys. And
5
it's
seconds
extremely
remaining.
wombo combo-y. I mean, you can already see the writing on the wall here. If you
Dire
get
team
a
ban.
strong vacuum into a wall with a kinetic field and call down, rocket barrage, flak cannon with Leshrac just running ham all over the place, stunning and damaging
10
everyone.
seconds remaining.
There's nobody in that.
5
There's no hero in the
seconds
game who
remaining.
can withstand that at the mid-game mark. So
Reserve time.
there's few heroes that can withstand that at any point in the game. So the final ban here is going to be a Clockwork being banned by Waifu and Senpais, and I think that's a really good ban here because Sanity's Eclipse, they already have a team that's relatively mobile, relatively gank oriented. They have the Queen
Dire
of Pain
team pick.
able to blink in and out of combat. They have Chaos Knight with his illusions and his blink mechanics, which require a target, but it still helps him close the distance. And Nyx Assassin just kind of running around in the shadows throughout the game. So if Waifu and Senpai are
10
caught out of
seconds
position, or they
remaining.
have one person struggling to stick with the
5
team or
seconds
rotate between lanes,
remaining.
they're going to get picked off by the Nyx Assassin and dropped pretty quick, because
Reserve time.
from out of nowhere, from the shadows, you're going to have multiple heroes jumping on top of and crushing you before you have a chance to move. Sanity's Eclipse final ban, the Naga Siren, is another smart ban, I believe, because again, it's another one of those wombo combo tools that can be used where you pop the sleep to open things off, and that lets the entire team get in position and set up for the huge vacuum into everything else. So Waifu and Senpais are going to have to be able to pull that off on the fly instead of pausing combat in its entirety with the Naga ult. Sanity's Eclipse picking up a Tinker. Tinker, a lot of fun to watch. Haven't seen him a ton in this patch. Back at TI 3, TI 4, I forget where it was, but he got a lot of love, and he was played at a crazy level where he had his own courier full of secondary items. Waifu and Senpais picking up another support hero, which really controls the tempo of a fight. I mentioned VS in the picking phase last game, and I kind of like it. It provides them with one of those very easy non-skill based stuns And between swap and glimpse on disruptor, swap on the VS, glimpse on the disruptor, you have a lot of tempo control now. So long as Waifu and Senpai are able to control the overall tone of the game and force Sanity's Eclipse to play into the team fight lineup that they've selected, skill-wise, I think, and hero-wise, this should be an easy win for Waifu and Senpais. Both teams undefeated to get here. I mentioned Sanity's Eclipse being undefeated. I had thought Waifu had dropped one game, but I took a quick glimpse through their play history in the Season 8 tournament as well, and I was incorrect. They had not lost a single game, so that previous game was the first that they lost. And they smoke up and look to get in position here behind the Tinker.
30 seconds.
They're rotating together, clumped up. They get the ward off, and oh, Coffee King spots him out. He knows he's there. Oh, but the stuns aren't there. The glimpses aren't there. And so Bidman is going to be able to just walk away from 5 heroes. It was 5-on-1, and he magooed his way through danger.
A tie to the abilities.
And to the safety of his tier 1 tower. So now that the tension has more or less passed, I'll go through introductions here. You have Moving Target playing the Dark Seer in the off lane. Come on. There it is. Yen playing the Leshrac in the middle lane. Going up against the Chaos Knight here.
Impure.
Hiding behind the Disruptor is Hi, I'm Waifu. Playing the Vengeful Spirit. Galactic playing the Disruptor. And then looking to hard carry for his team is Coffee King playing the Gyrocopter. Opposing Coffee King is the Next Level playing Nyx. Then rockin' Keeper of the Light for the second game is Jet Blaze. In his lane here, we have I Like That Panda playing playing the Chaos Knight. And am I the only one who saw that? Okay. When you see it at this angle, look at that. Lesh is knocked onto his back. There we go. I don't know. He's tired of this pause. He's taking a nap. And now pause is over. He's back up on his feet, ready to go. And missing one. There he is. And last but certainly not least, Kinade playing the Queen of Pain. In the middle lane, lost it there, but caught the final seconds with Chaos Knight and Lesh going toe to toe, and the overall victor of that's going to be Keeper of the Light, there to get experience for both. Lesh was able to kill Chaos Knight, so Yen going to take the experience over I Like That Panda, but I Like That Panda, no stranger to having to make a comeback, and with Keeper of the Light right behind him and providing some extra mana, tangos, healing salves, he should be able to hang out in the lane and find some farm and recover. I am a bit surprised that they opted to put the Chaos Knight into the middle lane over the Tinker, but I think that was done to specifically dodge moving target here in his Ion Shell spam. Bidman's going to have a much easier job of managing that with his March of the Machines. And you have continued aggression coming out here with Yen getting the second kill, killing Keeper of the Light, and had he not been stunned in the face, I think he would have got his Split Earth off and killed I Like That Panda, who now bottles up a haste rune, so he'll be able to recover that. But it was top lane in game 1, and it's middle lane here in game 2. That's proving to be the deadliest of the areas. But Jet rotating to the top lane here, trying to hang out and not be spotted. But the kinetic field comes out, catches 2 of the Radiant heroes, but as they dive in to try to get the kill, the Illuminate Blast is there. Kinect blinks forward, kills the Gyrocopter, and with the mana burn on cooldown, the next level is able to drop Disruptor as well. And Vengeful Spirit hanging out a little bit too long, seeing maybe if he could right-click Kinect down, but as a support VS with next to no right-click damage yourself, I mean, what is it, 48? Yeah. It's not going to be enough to scare Kinect too much as she blinks back to safety, and that puts Sanity's Eclipse in the lead a little bit. Not according to Farm, though. According to Farm, it's 500 gold in favor of Waifu and Senpai. 4-2 on the scoreboard. Moving target, looking to surge his way through the March of the Machine, see if he could contest this rune, but Bidman makes it there in time, and Jet picks up the top rune, so that's both of the 4-minute runes going to the Radiant.
I'll take that.
And what that play allowed was JetBlue was carrying Chaos Knight's bottle. So he went up, got the rune, popped it immediately, and gave the full bottle back to Chaos Knight. Knocked back flesh, just reborn things. Hey Top Dog, thanks for joining the channel. Have some action in middle here. Yen trying to get the Split Earth off on I Like That Panda. Off the mark slightly, but I Like That Panda doesn't have the move speed yet to get that last right click that he was looking for, that last critical. So far this game, while there has been some bloodshed in the middle lane, it's a bit calmer than it was in game 1. You have Nyx lagging a bit until they're going to take their first pause of the game. If it's anything like game 1, it'll be a brief one. And before I can finish the sentence, the next level has relogged back onto the game. And both teams good to go, so just a quick refresh here. A refresh in Reborn. So yeah, Tuck, at the beginning there seemed to be a glitch with Lesh just kicked back, chilling, while Chaos Knight and Keeper of the Light were getting ready to go on him. Tri-lane here for Waifu and Senpais. Let's check the last hits, see how Coffee King is doing. Not too bad. He's a little bit behind the Chaos Knight, and of course this bottom lane is being dominated on both sides, with March of the Machines picking up most of the dire ones and Ion Shell picking up most of the Radiant creep kills here for both Moving Target and Bidman. And I like what Bidman's doing here. It's how you can maximize your time. You saw that he pushed the wave in a little bit too much, a little bit too far, and so with his downtime he's stacking up creep camps, he's farming creep camps, and getting that every last bit he can in terms of economy. Meanwhile, speaking of stacks and camps, Yen, knowing that it's not safe to push to the other side of the river, taking a brief pause from his middle lane responsibilities to go farm some creeps himself. Oh, but just as I mentioned it, Moving Target rotates into the jungle, he spots out the stack, and I don't know that Bidman is aware of this because he's not contesting it, and Moving Target steals all of those and then sprints his way out of the jungle. So good pickup from him, and that catapults him into the lead at last hits. Meanwhile, some damage going back and forth in the top lane here is Waifu and Coffee King are both showing some weak HP pools as well as the next level. Bidman pinging out his creep stack saying, "Hey, I had stacked this and now it's gone. WTF DS." Jake Nyanils calling out for some Gangnam Style. Some Gangnam Style creep theft. Not sure that's what the song was about, but let's go with it. Lesh finally gets his bottle, and he empties out his inventory to make the most out of these charges. Throws it back on the courier. He's back to nearly full health and mana. Meanwhile, another skirmish must have broke out top because Coffee King's retreating back to the base with low HP. This is going to give Galactic and Waifu some time to soak up experience on their own, maybe get to that level 5, 5.5 before Coffee King returns.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Now low on health and possibly low on mana, so if he's not going to be able to defend against the creep wave nearly as well as he was before. He does have the soul ring, but with level 9 on the Darkseer already, he's going to have some fair damage coming out from the vacuum, the surge, and the wall if he can get it. And he has a soul ring of his own. Coffee King back in play here, using Flak Cannon to harass the Queen of Pain a bit. Looks like he's maxing out Rocket Barrage and that Flak Cannon. And there we have the Boots of Travel coming up on Tinker. So he's going to start to get pretty mobile here, but the person who has not been mobile is Chaos Knight in the middle lane. Constantly heading into that middle lane and constantly dying. He's 0-2 so far, so Yen is having a pretty strong game. He's, of course, died himself once when he and Chaos Knight stood toe-to-toe, but even that death went the way of Keeper of the Light, and it wasn't until after Yen had picked up the experience for killing the Chaos Knight.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
deciding he's had enough of it, Chaos Knight rotates to the bottom lane. There's that blink I was telling you about, the easy stun, and Grenade finishes it off with a scream and moving targets down. You have an immediate double teleport of the two supports, and they'll likely be able to get a support for their efforts, but in so doing, they're going to trade both of their lives away. As soon as moving target had fallen there, I think you should have canceled the teleports, because moving target hadn't really damaged anyone. Sure, you might be able to pick off a keeper of the light like that, but you knew the Chaos Knight was down here, you knew the Queen of Pain was down here, and they hadn't really expended much to kill moving target. They expended a scream and, you know, the stun from I Like That Panda, but as a couple supports, you're not overly tanky. And that stun's off a cooldown, so no scream needed, and they get moving target the second time here. I Like That Panda seeming to be a bit more comfortable in the bottom lane here than he was in that middle lane, so I doubt we'll see him rotate that anytime soon. Instead, he's going to jump on top of the Disruptor here, and the wombo combo of the Reality Shift and Chaos Bolt is just taking huge chunks out of the life of the supports, and even the offlane darks here right now. They turn their focus to the tower, and as they do that, Bidman in the top lane claims a kill of his own, dropping the hard carry Gyrocopter. So taking a quick look at the net worth, and it's Yen who has been dominating this mid lane here so far this game, leading in the net worth, but following that successful push and gank operation in the bot and top lane, you have Chaos Knight, Tinker, and Queen of Pain
Nice spark.
taking the rest of the positions. But with Bidman's Boots of Travel online, he's going to be mobile, he's going to be jumping around, picking off heroes left and right. So I will try to keep a closer eye on him, because I've missed his last two here, with him picking off Lesharok there and the Gyrocopter. So he's going for high value targets to start things off. Coffee King getting blinded back into the creep wave, but he makes the turn. And with Waifu right behind him, they drop the call down, but the next level not having a Spec'd Carapace ready and Jet Blaze's blind being on cooldown, they retreat back to the safety of their tower. Hopefully enticing Waifu and Senpais to dive after them with a double damage Chaos Knight lurking in the shadows, but they opt not to do so wisely. And instead, they kind of just head into the jungle, and the supports are probably looking to stack here, with Coffee King looking to get whatever farm he can. So
Dire's top tower is
Disruptor
under
needs to be
attack.
careful here. He's looking to pull. Oh, sorry about that camera work. It bothered even me. Got away from me for a second, as everything
Radiant's
has
middle
been
tower is
inverted
under
here
attack.
in terms of the push
Dire's
and hold,
structures are fortified.
easy scroll
Dire's top
technologies
tower
of
is under attack.
Reborn. But Disruptor looking to stack the camp. Luckily caught out Chaos Knight before he was
Dire's
able to do
top
much.
tower
And
has
the tower
fallen.
falling, Waifu and Senpais look to engage. They drop a lot start on the Keeper of the Light, and they do drop him and the Queen of Pain.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
The Chaos Knight working in the background was able to pick off DS, but he eventually paid for it himself. And now the next level, trying to get engaged in, and he drops Darkseer, but Coffee King and Yen almost keep themselves alive. Coffee King eventually falling, but it looks like Yen will likely... Oh, the blinking body block against the creep wave by Bidman keeps the distance away from the next level, and so he's able to retreat out without eating any more harassment damage from Yen. So all in all, it's a 3-for-3 trade with Queen of Pain, Chaos Knight, and Keeper of the Light falling in exchange for a VS, Gyrocopter, and Darkseer.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Now as the team
Dire's
starts to
structures are
recuperate and come back to full
fortified.
health and respawn, they rotate to the middle lane, and looks like both teams are ready to stand their ground here. Again, from the pure mechanics point of view, I think if everyone just clumps together and face rolls on the keyboard, Waifu and Senpais are definitely favored in this matchup. But if they're able to get 1 or 2 pickoffs before the team fight happens, then it starts to turn the tide of the battle quite a bit. And that's why you see the next level rotating behind here, seeing if he can't kill this disruptor so they don't have the static storm ready for him. But he eats a bunch of damage and retreats back to base, and the other 4 heroes are hanging out, really trying to defend this tower so they don't lose too much map control. But with less than 100 health, it doesn't look like it's going to be the case. But a big vacuum call down, rocket barrage, flash cannon combo comes, and it does kill the next level, and Chaos Knight so far with Darkseer and Vengeful Spirit being the cost. Coffee King looking to teleport out, get to the high ground, but he's not quite able to.
Dire's middle tower
And now
is under
Bidman
attack.
looking to sow chaos from inside the forest. So it's another pretty even exchange. Sanity's Eclipse lose 4 into a very strong team fight lineup on Waifu and Senpai,
Dire's top tower is under
With-
attack.
Waifu and Senpai losing the Gyrocopter, the VS, and the Darkseer, but they also lost that tier 1 tower. So now taking a look at the vision, you have all 3 lanes pushed out by Sanity's Eclipse, pretty much approaching the tier 2 towers across the board. And that not only provides them with a bunch of intel, but it starves the Waifu team from knowing the exact locations of everyone on Sanity's Eclipse. They saw Keeper of the Light step forward here and blast the creep wave down, but they don't know if he's alone or not. They know that Blue is up here. As the next level engages against the Gyrocopter, and now he pops his Spiked Carapace, stunning 3 different heroes, and he's not going to fall yet. He's able to get the Urn Charge off on Darkseer, who eventually falls, but by so doing, he also sacrificed himself. But somehow, he had aggroed the creeps during that time as well, and he winds up denying himself to creeps in order to get the kill against moving targets. So, definitely worth it in the end. Chaos Knight going on Yen, seeing if he can drop him very quickly right next to his own tier 2 tower, but Disruptor there throwing the kinetic shield up, throwing up the glimpse against the Chaos Knight, and it'll save Yen for now. So I like that Panda, Kinade, and E-Jet Blaze. All retreating from the lane. They're looking... So far this game, Sanity's Eclipse are applying a little less pressure than they did in Game 1. I think that's due to Waifu's much stronger teamfight lineup this time, and it's a smart respect distance. But as I warned, the pickoff potential of Sanity's Eclipse is extremely high. You saw Gyrocopter step just a little bit too far forward here, and immediately the next level jumps on top of him, And you have the blinking Tinker right behind him, and the nuke damage is just too much for him to hang on to. But in order to position himself for that, he had used Vendetta, so it was not ready to counteract being trapped by the Disruptor and gang as they rotate in. Too late to save the Gyrocopter's life. I mean, there's no teleport scroll or teleport boots that would be fast enough to have saved Coffee King there. But they were able to do it fast enough to get the counter kill for themselves. Moving target, looking to stack up the neutral creeps a little bit more here. Get a little safe farm for himself.
I am ever so grateful.
Smoke coming out on the side of Sanity's
Invisibility!
Eclipse as Kinade in the next level. Look to rotate through the jungle. And they'll probably catch moving target here if they are looking at the low ground. But instead they rotate through the middle here. Smoke is still applied to them, so even though they're sitting directly under the wards, they're not visible. Moving target rotates up to right next to him, but then blinks to the north, and they're not seen. So now the smoke has faded, and they are completely visible sitting underneath these wards. Moving target either having some great game sense or some good old-fashioned luck, but he was able to dodge a proverbial bullet there from Queen of Pain and Nyx Assassin as they were on the prowl through his jungle.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Drums ring up on Coffee King, and they're looking to go here. Moving target. Setting up for the vacuum call down combo, but he gets stunned. So the combo's not going to make it, but I like that Panda getting caught out in the tree line and abandoned by his allies, and the entirety of the Waifu squad descend upon him. Make quick work of the Chaos Knight, who has not had the strongest game. He's currently 4 and 5, but like 3 of those kills came when he first rotated to the bottom lane after having a very rough start in middle. The next target looking to engage on moving targets. He's able to do so. So he gets the kill off very quickly, and then Yen drops as well. Coffee King surging forward, trying to catch out some return kills. He drops the call down and the rocket barrage. He's able to pick up Queen of Pain so far. Disruptor glimpsing back the Queen of Pain, but now her blinks off cooldown. She blinks forward, and without any of the support tricks, looks like they're not going to be able to catch up to her. Level 1 swap being a relatively short range, so now with a little bit of regen, they're looking to go back on Coffee King, and Chaos Knight's going to dive into the jungle here to see if he can get him, and they're able to do so. So the 2 supports and Coffee King hanging out a little bit too long. They tried chasing after the Queen of Pain and almost got it, but she was able to weasel her way out, and as soon as she did, she just waited for allies to join her side, spent some time regenning, and as soon as they were back at full health, they charged into the Waifu squad, who were apparently also trying to split push with the Lesharok killing off the Keeper of the Light and pushing into the tower. And he is able to get both for his team, so they do kill the Keeper of the Light and take the tower. but right now, Lesh is the only dire hero in the top 5 of the net worth chart. And so trading him for a Keeper of the Light, who's the bottom net worth in the game, is mathematically not worth it. Keeper of the Light sitting on a very sad 2,800 net worth. He's got a point booster. Tranquil Boots and a point booster. He's sitting okay. It's not too poor. But everything else just going into Town Portal Scrolls, Smokes, Observer Wards. All of the things that everybody loves to have on the team, but nobody wants to buy. So, shout out to all of the players who play a support hero and know what that entails. And what that entails is sometimes being incredibly selfless. You'll have brown boots at the 40-minute mark, but if your team wins, that's all that matters. The vision you provided is more beneficial than the drums that you wanted to get or the urn that you just needed to have. So right now, I like what Sanity's Eclipse are doing. They're kind of split up. They're showing themselves in each of the 3 lanes and trying to force Waifu to move around and come to them, because as Waifu and squad are forced to react to Sanity's Eclipse pressure, I mean, it's little by little, but I mean, you see this middle tower's taking damage. Taking a couple hundred damage, and it's down to 700 and sub 700 now. So Rat Dota at its finest. And then this is what they're really after, trying to catch heroes rotating between the lanes to help defend, and as they rotate they get caught off 1 or 2 at a time, and Sanity's Eclipse are able to make much easier work of 2 heroes than trying to fight into the full Waifu squad. Right now, Waifu team standing 4 strong, trying to defend this tier 2 tower against the pressure of 3 Sanity's Eclipse members.
Tower is under attack.
The next level Canadian Jet. Meanwhile, Tinker looking to push in the middle lane with March of the Machines. Head back to base. Rearm, recharge, reset. He's going with the Dagon build, so obviously that emphasizes even more so that he's looking for pickoffs and not pushes.
Oh, they never miss.
Teleports to the middle lane, puts that Dagon to immediate use where they see the Disruptor hanging out by himself by the tier 2 tower, and you can see Coffee King a little bit. He has a little bit more meat on his bones than the Disruptor. Oh, Waifu and Senpai. Waifu. Hi, I'm Waifu, swapping out Moving Target instead of the Tinker, as Moving Target had blinked forward, and you can see even in the all chat, Galactic calling out the misplays. So, definitely a missed opportunity there by Hi, I'm Waifu, as he not only got himself killed, but he cost the team a kill opportunity against Didman. Immediately after being swapped, Moving Target retreated back to base. You could tell he's like, I'm done with this. I got swapped out of position after my blink. Nothing about this is going to be good if we re-engage. So the top tower for Waifu does fall, and so, and as does the middle
tower has
so
fallen.
That's slow Rat Dota siege push. Now you have I Like That Panda pushing out the bot lane. The rest of the team
Finders, keepers.
coming to join him, possibly making one pit stop first. but there's no vision up here from Waifu to give them a heads up that this is even happening. And they even send the next level to head up and scout out the enemy team and see where they're at. And
Roshan has fallen to the Radiant.
he spots out. He spots out a couple of them. That provides a relatively safe Roshan for Sanity's Eclipse, and they throw it onto the Chaos Knight, who, again, had a bit of a rough start, but he has managed to recover to an even record so far. And he's bought space for his allies. We'll go with that one. Who have done a pretty good job here of keeping up pressure on the lanes. And again, all three lanes pushing into about that tier 2 tower mark.
Dire's bottom tower
Top
is
one sitting
under
more
attack.
around tier 1 tower. But the last tower standing over here for Waifu and Senpai. And Sanity's Eclipse are looking to see if they can pick off just 1 or 2 targets at a time. They go on Yen, but with Glimmer Cape up, he
Dire's
invises
bottom
himself
tower
up
is
and
under attack.
kind of just wiggles his way around
Dire's
the
bottom
kinetic
tower
field
has fallen.
until he's back with his team. And now all of Waifu are locked inside of their base for now,
Radiant's
as
top tower is under
Sanity's
attack.
Eclipse look to push forward. Big call down coming right in front of the tier 3 tower, and it does drop Chaos Knight for now as he looks to expend his Aegis and get back into the fight. Coffee King surging forward with his new
Radiant's
BKB,
top tower is under attack.
So this is
but
really
behind the scenes you have Bidman just making mincemeat out of all of the
Radiant's top
squishier
tower has
Waifu
fallen.
targets, dropping Moving Target, VS, and Disruptor. So that puts Waifu at a 1-7 right now on his support VS. VS, not known to have the best KDA record with his frequent diving into enemy territories. But
Those people had families.
Sanity's Eclipse looking to keep the aggression up, even with multiple heroes down. And sure, they're able to get the gyrocopter, but if you look at that, Lesharok gets 4 kills back to back to back, and it surges him to the top of the net worth chart. And he's sitting on a very pretty 13-4. So with his newfound wealth, he sells his bottle and buys an Octarine core outright cash. He just walked up to the jewelry store, told them, make me a grill, and
Radiant's
walked
top
out
tower
with
is
the
under
Octarine
attack.
core. And now it's Waifu's turn to go on the
Radiant structures
aggressive
are
with Galactic, Waifu, and Yen
Radiant's middle
all
tower
pushing
is
into this
under
mid lane
attack.
here. Tinker setting
Radiant's
up
middle tower has
his
fallen.
March of the Machine crossfire to eat up the incoming creep wave. So that'll be all for now, but all of the tier 1s have fallen. I missed the top lane. It must have been creeps pushing on behalf of Waifu and Senpai that took the top tier 1 tower. That drops the net worth, which had been that's looking like it was approaching 20k, not quite there, probably 19k and change, in favor of Sanity's Eclipse, and brings it back down to a much more manageable 12 or 13k. Still not the best position to be in,
Double damage.
but with the strength of Waifu's lineup, all they really need is to catch Sanity's Eclipse out of position once, and they're going to really punish their entire team. And when you do that, you can take a full lane, depending on buyback status, maybe 2. Sanity's Eclipse, meanwhile, doing what you'd expect them to do. Lurking around in the jungle, the next level, constantly just rotating into every lane, behind creep waves, and trying to find anybody who's out of position to pick off. And he too is going with the Dagon build, so you're going to have... Oh, looks like there's some damage here coming the way of Yen, and I doubt he's going to get away from this. Oh, but under Glimmer Cape and with the teleport, he is able to get back. Pings coming out everywhere, saying, guys, where did he go? But excellent work by Yen to duck into the shadows of the trees there, pop Glimmer Cape, teleport out, and get himself out safely. I thought he was going to be in some serious danger there, pushing that far into the lane by himself, and he proved that he had enough preservation items to keep himself in the game. The next level, engaging against Waifu, even though he sees all 4 there, he stuns out 2. For Coffee. So VS is on the ground here, and Coffee drops his call down, but it doesn't hit anybody. They're still going, trying to find I Like That Panda, but with the long stun roll against Yen, I don't think they're going to be able to get it. Galactic dropping a kinetic field to preserve their escape, and Yen chopping down some trees to see if he can't find this Tinker out of position, but he has since rotated to the bottom lane and is already pressuring down here. But Yen quick to make the rotation himself, able to catch him out of position, and Galactic wasn't going to let him get too far. A glimpse on the ready.
Ace.
Haste picked up by Nick's assassin. We'll see if he tries to go on Yen. He pings him out. He looks to engage. Throws the stun. It's off target. And now Queen of Pain showing up with the smoke. Yen trying to get this kill against the next target. And he's able to do it. And then as soon as he does, he pops that bloodstone and suicides. So it's essentially a 1-0. Now he could have, with his Glimmer Cape, he probably could have made it back home, or at least close enough to the tier 3 towers that his allies would have been in position to help support. But he was feeling the hunger, feeling the bloodlust. And just like Columbus, he gets murderous on purpose and takes down the Nix.
Worthy tribute.
Meanwhile, we have a couple Waifu members, Galactic moving target, looking to farm up the jungle here, but it's never safe in the dire jungle right now, not with the lineup that Sanity's Eclipse have. And Kinnade's continuing to lurk around. Bidman is continuing to pressure the lane. Throwing Ion Shell onto the lead creep to try to buy them some relief from here, but it's not to be had. Keeper of the Light calling back Kinnade, and it looks like they're going to get in position to do Roshan number 2 here. Again, completely in the shadows. This time they know it's in the shadows because Jet has a gem. like before. There's some middle lane,
Fallen to the Radiant.
or at least into the ramps above them to make sure that they're not, that the Waifu squad isn't positioning to try anything too sneaky. Coffee King is getting caught out by I Like That Panda, but he gets Glimmer Cape tossed onto him, drops call down right in front of his tower, and again able to stay alive for as long as possible, but multiple Dagons getting tossed his way after his Yules is going to be enough to drop him. Meanwhile, I Like That Panda now meaty enough to withstand a lot of the damage that's coming out from the Waifu squad. He dives back in, picks off the Disruptor, kills Gyrocopter again, and now it's just buyback after buyback with Darkseer and Gyrocopter both buying back immediately after their death. They are able to kill off the Keeper of the Light, but now Coffee King is surrounded by Sanity's Eclipse heroes. Granted, all of them have like 200 health, but he's not able to drop any of them. Vidman's able to make it back to base, regen, recoup, and rearm, and then teleport back to the squad at a relatively survivable health pool. Needs a fair amount of damage, but Nyx Assassin, Keeper of the... well, not Keeper of the Light. Keeper of the Light eventually fell, but Queen of Pain and Chaos Knight all just dancing around with 200, 300, 400 health tops as Coffee King's Gyrocopter looked to make use of his buyback, as did Darkseer with their AoE mechanics, and it hurt. It hurt Sanity's Eclipse, but horseshoes and hand grenades. And for those of you unfamiliar with the expression, close only counts with horseshoes and hand grenades. So, close doesn't count, and 3 of the Sanity's Eclipse heroes make it out alive.
Illusion!
And they had killed... so let's see. I'm not sure if Tinker was killed at the beginning of that team fight or not, but I know that all 5 of Waifu's team died. Hi, I'm Waifu, getting out with a Glimmer Cape of his own. All 5 of them died. Darkseer bought back and died. Coffee King bought back and died. Yen bought back but didn't die. So I think it was 7. And they were able to kill Keeper of the Light for sure. And then I want to say they killed Tinker. And they burnt the Aegis. So it was a very rapid, very violent bloodbath. And in response, Waifu looked to... oh, can you get the glimpse? Oh, Vendetta goes off. And then I Like That Panda explodes Disruptor, who overextended by just a little, and that little is all it takes. Now we sprint back to base. Disruptor extending to try to find the glimpse, and was just shy of it. Then Vendetta went off and
Dire's structures are fortified.
now Sanity's Eclipse looking to push the high ground here. big vacuum catches forward into a wall. Multiple BKBs are popped from I Like That Panda and Coffee King. They are going to drop the Chaos Knight. They drop the Tinker. They almost get the next level, but he's going to be able to invis out of here. Jet Blaze is... Oh, he makes a right turn and teleports out to safety. So he'll get out as well. So right now it's a 2-for-1 trade. But that was an excellent vacuum by moving target, catching at least 4, it might have been all 5 of them. And then hitting them with the wall into the call down. And from there, you could tell when that combo hit, it hit hard, and Sanity's Eclipse immediately turned around and went sprinting home. And it was every man for himself type sprint back to the Sanity's Eclipse side of the river. Had they been able to kill the next level, who got away with like 75 HP himself, and had, I think it was Darkseer who was chasing into the woods here, turned right instead of left, he would have saw the Jet Blaze Keeper of the Light sitting there teleporting away, and it would have been just 1 or 2 more smacks to his face and he would have died as well. Yen getting caught out by multiple heroes here. He Yulzes up and commits suicide. In the middle of the marches, as he's getting shot by multiple Dagons, he pops the Bloodstone charge again, and seppuku's his way out. A little bit of farm here, but Bidman moving in on him, hits him with a Dagon, saying, "Back off, this is my creep wave."
Murder spree.
And him and next level move into the jungle and find a Darkseer just trying to make an honest day's living. Trying to get a little bit of gold, a little bit of farm. And they drop him immediately. And
Dire's
with
bottom
Keeper
tower is
of the
under
Light in
attack.
position here in the bottom lane, they recall the next level back in their full strength here as they fight into this bottom lane.
Dominating.
Dire's
And with
bottom
2 heroes
barracks are
already on
under
the
attack.
sideline, it's not a full strength Waifu squad who are trying to defend these tier 2 towers. And so that's the danger. They picked off moving target in the jungle. They picked off PS before they pushed into the high ground, and then it was at best 3 versus 5 for
Dire's
Waifu.
middle tower is under attack.
So Sanity's Eclipse
Dire's middle tower
make the most
is
of the
falling.
situation, pressure as hard as they can,
Dire's middle barracks
and
are under attack.
they take the bottom
Dire's
racks
middle barracks
with relative
have
ease.
fallen.
They had to eat pretty much
Dire's middle
eat a
tower
full
is
call
under
down
attack.
to kind of stand their ground there, but at
Radiant's middle tower
the end of
is
the day,
under
they're
attack.
no worse for wear. They've regened up pretty well. And that's 2 sets of racks down, and Waifu are just waiting for everyone to come online
Dire's
here.
middle tower is under
But
attack.
they're trickling in more or less one at a time. VS comes in, then Yen comes in, Galactic comes in. Now moving target joins the mix.
Dire's middle tower is
And
under attack.
Bidman leaps forward, catches 1, missiles a second. Now he's going to right click Galactic down, and he actually gets teleported back to a more advantageous position for him because he's able to cast spells, but
Dire's
there's
middle tower is
3,
under attack.
the 3 cores of the Dire squad sitting there waiting for him, so he's not going to be able to make it out of there. So he does pick off 2 more supports for trading his own life away. And again, pointing to the net worth chart, it's not a trade that he probably should have made, but right now he can afford to be down for 60 seconds as Waifu are going to be very much on the back foot here as they're down 2 sets of racks, and the creeps are
Dire's
doing
middle
work here. You
tower is
have pings
under
coming out
attack.
from Disruptor as this tower's eating a significant amount of damage. And looks like Waifu might be
Dyer's middle tower
playing their YOLO card right now as they go on to the next level. They are able to drop him. Call down comes down, lands on I Like That Panda, but he BKBs. And now it's 2 versus 5. I Like That Panda, Kinade versus the entirety of the Waifu squad. Queen of Pain blinks away. He's going to call it a day and leave I Like That Panda behind to die. So they're able to get 2 kills, dropping the Nyx Assassin and the Chaos Knight, but they lose one of their tier 4 towers and the other takes a beating in order to do so. And all of that was with the Tinker sitting dead on the sidelines. So as soon as he's ready to go, he's going to be adding even more pressure. We're getting questions about the server use. Specifically asking if it's US East. Everyone's saying it is. Except the stand-in. Stand-in Kinade calling out that it's a Peru server. But we all know that that's a joke because Peru doesn't have servers. That's why they play on ours. Huh? Everyone's seeming to have quite a bit of lag. I don't think I've experienced too much on my end, but again, it's a lot easier to just watch the game than it is to play it with any amount of lag. Meanwhile, we'll check out some of the, well, I was going to say the effigies, but accidentally clicked on one of the buildings there. And the courier, the classic donkey courier. Jetblaze's Seeker of Spells effigy rocking out here with the Rubik. Everyone else, it seems. Oh, we got another one here. Oh, you think you fancy, huh? By the next level. And yeah, that's Queen of Pain with all of her cosmetic items hovering above and in front of her. So apparently that's what the very base Queen of Pain model looks like. But enough about that. Enough about the effigies. Unless you guys want to see the dire ones. Like the I'm Not Drunk. Sparkling in its goldenness. Or Hot as Lightning, Galactic Selena. Or do you want to see Roshan taking on the entirety of Sanity's Eclipse for as long as he can? So Roshan 3 falling, Sanity's Eclipse opting to play it safe, and now with a very definitive gold lead, about 26-27k, 3 out of the top 4 net worth positions, and not only an Aegis, but an Aegis and Cheese. They have the Aegis on Chaos, and they have the Cheese on Nixat. So big vacuum call down into Kinade, and I Like That Panda, but I Like That Panda getting hyper aggressive and throwing his life into enemies. Drops off the Disruptor and the VS.
Dyer's middle tower has
Queen of Pain having to fall back.
Ancient is under attack.
And now it's the last stand for Waifu as the throne is getting beat. Creeps are here. Tinker's just kind of dancing around right now as damage is being done to the throne. The last of the tier 4 towers has fallen. Some damage being done to the remaining racks, and in the top lane here, they almost get moving target. He's going to eventually fall. The the gem on Nick's assassin, and as soon as they do, Figment's ready with the dagon. Fires off the laser and down Darkseer goes, and that is a dieback, so he's going to be down for 100 seconds now, which is a very long time when there's creeps hitting your
Dire's
base.
Ancient is under attack.
Galactic and Waifu trying their absolute best to drag those creeps off. Tinker teleporting in, maybe a little too aggressively, and he immediately decides it's probably not for the best, and he blinks back to safety as far back as he can. Another call down as they try to engage against the next level, and they're able to do so. There's a gem on the deck. Galactic picks it up, dropping his scroll. He's not going to need it. He's not going to be leaving the base for a while. And so now, so long as he's around, they should be able to catch out the next level whenever he comes strolling back in. But for now, Waifu's going to have quite the difficult time as they try to defend their half-dead throne from mega creeps and the one lane that they have left
Illusion!
with let's call it 1.5 racks. Dire's courier somewhere along the lines got sniped, but it didn't have anything on it. Coffee King with a butterfly online. Hi, I'm Waifu, calling out that they were illusions. Apparently he was very aware of that fact. But Gyrocopter's sitting on a butterfly, so his attacks are run down pretty quick. At this point, he's using call down to clear creep waves. Apparently I have a Facebook tab open. I just heard Facebook blip. You have Keeper of the Light drawing out on the map. Calling out some push strategies by the looks of it. And so far this strategy is going to begin with a smoke. Right now, with the creeps pushed into the base, they know where pretty much everyone's at. They know they're going to be rotating from bot to the top, and they blink forward, go on moving target, and Coffee King to start things off. But a big vacuum hits 5, as well does the call down, but several of them rocking BKBs right now. So the call down damage isn't too severe, but Coffee King looking to make a turn, and that's a 3-for-0 engage, and again, that's 3-for-0 so far. Are they going to make it a 4th and catch out the Kinade? Got the blink from moving target, but Kinade turns and silences them, and he disjoints the incoming right click from Leshrac, and that is going to be enough to buy her freedom, as she makes it away with about 80 HP, and that Lesh right click would have been enough to kill her, but excellent blink timing. She turned and silenced moving target, so he was unable to throw that last second vacuum or surge the Lesh or surge himself. It was everything he could do to get up to her with the blink and punch her in the mouth once. So as everyone calms down, resets here a little bit, I would like to give a shout out to upliftdesk.com. They actually sent me a desk earlier this year for me to use, and it's sweet. It's got a motor in it so I can sit or stand at it, and I've been using it to cast pretty much all the games this tournament. Whenever I'm playing, I'm sitting, but whenever I'm casting, I'm standing. And I'm able to jump between the two with just a little push of a button. I've set up all my presets and everything. It's pretty sweet. And right now, it's just a matter of time.
Smart money.
It's going to be very difficult for Waifu to do anything coming out of their base. They've stemmed the bleeding a little bit, but it's still a 25k net worth lead in favor of Sanity's Eclipse, which is it's rough. And not just that, but the constant pressure. I don't know how they can leave the base. Because as soon as they do, they're going to get... Sanity's Eclipse is a very aggressive team and a very mobile team. I mean, them as players are just aggressive players, so... If you give them an opening to push into this bottom or push into this top, you can see Kinect just kind of sitting out there lurking. Sure, you have the two supports, but both Bidman and Kinect aren't afraid of those supports, and they're pressuring into them aggressively. Bidman dropping the disruptor, and Kinect just straight ignoring DS and takes the second lane of racks. So that's gonna be mega creeps, and I don't know that Waifu struggled with 2 lanes of creeps.
Dire structures are fortified.
I think 3 is going to be a bit too much for him. Yen can more or less hold his own. Moving target might be able to hold his own, and I know Coffee King can hold his own against Megas, so they have a chance. And they have a Divine. So they are full YOLO mode. Unfortunately, they just saw the pop-up saying that Roche has fallen yet again to the way of Sanity's Eclipse. I like that Panda looking to, I guess, dive into the throne, but the Divine Rapier on Coffee King is going to make that difficult. But I like that Panda blinking into him. We got pings coming out from the Waifu squad saying, hey, guys, get this guy off of me. I need to stay alive with this thing. And he's currently unstoppable and looking to defend his throne to the last breath. The team kind of separating, and you can see the perimeter here set up by Sanity's Eclipse. You have one in the bot, two kind of hanging out at the secret shop. You have next level rotating through the mid and into the top. And so they're just trying to keep pressure on all of these lanes, keep this constant stream going in. Coffee King looking to head back to the fountain for this brief breather, refill on health and mana, and get ready to go. Switching over to buybacks. Now that's the only thing keeping them in play. That and the Divine. So right now, Darkseer the only one with buyback money. And with this creep wave, Coffee King has it as well. Yen bought back during that last push, so he's going to be without for a while. Throwing out her ult, just keeping the creep wave pushed in, next level, poking his head in as well. I like that Panda and Vidman almost dropping Galactic. But now they look to make the turn against, I like that Panda and Vidman. They get the call down pop, the BKBs,
Dire's ancient
you need to be careful because the throne is under siege here, and I like that Panda ignores everything else and joins his creeps in pushing the throne, and with just a couple right clicks, that's going to be enough. So you have to give it to Waifu and Senpais. They came into this matchup very strong. Both teams coming into it undefeated. And it was one of the matches where the O had to go. So in this case, Sanity's Eclipse taking it 2-0 over Waifu and Senpais, but those last 15-20 minutes, Waifu and Senpais held on valiantly, and you could tell the strength of their lineup was those team fight encounters. When Sanity's Eclipse started feeling like they had the game in the bag, they would just start grouping up and throwing their lives into the high ground, trying to just force Waifu's team to falter and, I don't know, I guess not cast their spells. But they were in such bad position that you saw a number of those really big vacuum into call down, into wall, into kinetic field, into static storm, into flak cannon, and everything else. So massive damage coming out, and it definitely prolonged the game and gave Waifu a chance to get back into it, with Coffee King picking up the Divine Rapier, the Hail Mary item of all of Dota. But in the end, it wasn't quite enough. Kudos to Yen for playing a great Lesh game. He definitely dominated that middle lane there and kept Chaos Knight well beneath his potential for quite a while in the early game. And I think that helped to buy them quite a bit of space as well. But again, in the end, a win is a win, and Sanity's Eclipse come out on top, the victors. So they're going to go on in this AD2L North America Heroic Playoff Bracket to play No Fear Dota in what I'm going to call the championship game, because there's no other team beyond them. I'm being told that that's the finals, but it'll be the final matchup in the Season 8 tournament in the Heroic Playoff Bracket. For those of you unfamiliar with the AD2L League, the Heroic Bracket, there's 3 different tiers in each of the seasons, and the Heroic Bracket is the highest of them. It goes entry-level bracket or open bracket, and then champions, and then heroic. And it's all pretty much based off of MMR levels and everything else. So these are your top tier players hammering it out for our enjoyment, and it's been As always, a pleasure to cast them. My name is Darmin. I've been coming to you live from twitch.tv/DarminCast, and in-game, maybe, if the Dota Reborn client has been cooperating with people and allowing you to watch via Dota TV. Please follow my channel, subscribe, share, like, follow, whatever all those favorite caster adjectives are. It helps me out, helps get the brand out, and if you like what you heard and saw, let me know. If you didn't like it, let me know as well. And I'm constantly trying to make improvements and hone my craft, so any feedback's appreciated. And I will see you guys probably next week for the championship game between Sanity's Eclipse and No Fear Dota. If not, we have the Season 9 tournament. Starts October 1st, so that's just in 10 short days. So after next week's games, the Season 9 tournament is going to kick off immediately after this one. So be on the lookout for that. Get out there, register, drag all your friends together. You don't need to be 8K MMR, 9K MMR. The entry-level bracket is open to anybody. In fact, it has a ceiling to it, and I think that ceiling is 3,500 or 4K. It's something like that. Check it out at the registration page. But yeah, if you have a team of people who are under like 3K or 4K, don't worry, you're not going to be going up against a Sanity's Eclipse squad. They try to keep it relatively balanced and everything. So thank you again for tuning in, and I will see you guys next week.